Yo, what's up, Will? What's up, Gold Mask? What's up, Chirico? How are you guys? Yo, what's up, Josh? All right. So, learning the lessons from the last stream, I think we can conclude that having that extra bit of damage, even if we take a little more, might be worth it. So instead of going like overboard for damage and just sacrificing the integrity of whatever build we're trying to make, I think we're gonna start sticking to something a little more basic. Like, we're gonna focus on damage, but like without going overboard, basically. Can't believe we still don't have news from for Tarnished. Yeah. Tarnished edition update in 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour in 4 months. Dude. Crazy stuff. I'm shocked that we didn't get anything, honestly. Yeah, same here, Firekeeper. Like, we should have gotten something by now. I mean, we didn't. What if we go damage focused sight, and this increases crouch. Let's go with this. First of all, I can actually swap that, so for sight, what could we actually use that would increase our damage? Yeah, I think we were all expecting something yesterday, honestly. I think here, like, as we have one extra talisman slot, but like for something like a sight, like what else would you have? I guess enhancing the running attack maybe. Oh, actually we can't do that. Oh, never mind, I guess. This is going to be that. Okay, no, it's a little too much, so we're just gonna go with simple. I'm not necessarily gonna stick with the side for like all stream or anything. I just want to see like a few like setups that I like to use. Like, what if I focus on a little different approach, so to speak? Like here, I'm thinking like you know, a little reshuffling here, maybe like put that here. And maybe here we put the big frost pot. Gonna try a few like variation of what we were normally doing, just to see like if doing more damage through these other means while taking more damage actually like increases our chances of winning. On paper, it actually should not, because survivability usually trumps all, but because this is Elden Ring, I don't know, I feel like taking like a little more damage. In our case here, we're taking 25% more damage from Blood Boil Aromatic. We're doing 20% more physical damage, but we're also doing 2% here and 2% there, taking 2%, 2%. So we're taking a significant amount of extra damage, but this guy's by himself. You see already the scythe is doing like... The scythe is doing like a good chunk of damage to this guy. Like 748 on that guy, and that's a lot of damage. To be a running like that. I think the damage we do is really good. The guy basically dies in 3 hits. Oh, blue just spawned there. The damage difference is really felt, honestly. Like, just changing these few things on the setup, like adding the frostbot. Like, we just do, like, so much more damage. I think for invasions, I was focusing a little too much on defense until this point. It definitely helps a lot to do more damage. Yo, Alluvial, thank you so much for the gifted to Odium. Thanks a lot, man. What's great also about the Blood Boil Aromatic is that as opposed to the meat that makes you do more damage, well, of course you do more damage with the aromatic, but you also have your buff last a lot longer. Like I think the meat is like 30 seconds and the Blood Boil is a minute. So just that alone makes it a lot more viable in the fight. Who is he? Oh, he's probably under here, right? Yeah, must be. Oh, hit. The frost mist in the big pot lasts longer as well? What do you mean? What do you mean the frost mist lasts longer? You mean people getting frosted by the big frost pot? Or do you mean like it has like an easier time proccing the frost? Because we know it frost procs like pretty much anyone. What's special about the big frost pot is that, you know, you don't really have to worry about your opponent having like high robustness, because the amount of frost buildup that this has is just like very, very, very high.
Hey.
I wonder if they're above me or here. Well, I guess they're here. Okay, set up. Did I do that? I think I already did. Wait, how did he die? What the fuck? What was that, guys? How did this guy die? I didn't see anything. Why do you block after every swing? Because it was a good thing to do in Dark Souls 3 and I played that game for too long. So I have this habit of always block canceling. Okay, well, if he heals, let's heal. Really like our damage though. It really does make a big difference. I'm sure I could find a weapon that magnifies that damage a little more. I'm trying Sight right now just because I like Sight as a weapon just overall, but wondering which weapon we could really use that benefits a setup like that. Lance, not really, because you don't want weapons that trade. You don't want to trade because technically you're taking more damage. Like you want weapons that can hit clean. Like what's great about Sight is that Sight has stun priority after the R1, so it's a good candidate for that. Winged Horn, Ash of War. Debuff stacks with Frost, but it's a pain to land. That's interesting. Close. That's a lot of damage. Okay, let's just go with that. Oh, he can have priority there. Okay. I kept doing like staggered R1s, but my farmerman, like this colossal takes prio there. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's see what other weapon. Sight does good damage. It's a good candidate. What about so this does 712. What about this here? 723. Wonder if Great Cat could be interesting here. If we have Great Katana and then we have maybe this and or actually Crouch Tally. Might be able to shred people with Light Greatsword. Yeah, we can try Light Greatsword after that. Try this. See how much damage we do with that. take that. The damage is kind of insane though, like you kill people like in 2 hits. What the fuck? Like we take a lot, like we almost die getting blendered, but as soon as we whiff punish someone, they take almost 1,000. I will say, like, this is definitely not, like, a setup that you'd want to use, like, cranking all that damage. You wouldn't want to do that for duels. But for invasions, when you're outnumbered, when you basically need to kill people as fast as possible, I think this might be a good idea. You see, the amount of damage we do is really worth it. It's definitely worth the trade-off. Especially when you manage to frost them with the frostbot. It really makes for a good, might be good to tier skip players in 2v2s, yeah, for sure. Although 2v2s, I'm not really sure this would be a good idea for 2v2s. Because for 2v2s, very often, they're just split into like 2 1v1s. It's fine to do high damage in 2v2s, but when you're taking Blood Boil, you're doing a trade-off of you're taking more damage than you're dishing out, because technically, well, at least the numbers that they say on Fextra, it's that you're taking 25% more damage and you're dishing out 20% more physical. So that's a significant trade-off where you're at a disadvantage, but that might not matter as much in the context of invasions. Switch between Blood Boil and Crab after you kill a player, that has really no logic. Like, you'd be better off just using Crab, basically. Is that, like, you can't go into a fight expecting that you're never gonna get hit. It's just not how it works. The reason why the Blood Boil works in Invasion is because in Invasion you can heal almost as much as you want, so you're gonna heal all your mistakes. So what you want is the best opportunity you can get to kill someone from 100 to 0 as quickly as possible. And this gives you a better chance at that. I think they're up here, yeah. Against this guy, our damage was not that high, all things considered. Like we did 500 against this Phantom. Yo, Scorch, how you doing, man? No grease though? Yeah, no grease. And no frost either. Yep. No grease, no frost. Wondering what other weapon could have potential with this. We might try double Milady. Like power stance Milady. Wow. The pressure, though, that you put on people when you do that much, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, power stance Milady benefit from a lot of tally. Yeah, I agree. I think so too. First of all, for power stance Milady, I'm gonna need this one. The Millicent Prosthesis. But all the other tallies, I think I can swap them out. I think I would go for jumping tally. Either multi-hit damage or twin blade after that. I think we can have both, honestly. We might be able to use both. Alright, let's try double Milady. If I can find it, there you go, right there. Bit too heavy, that should be good with that. No, it's not, okay. We're gonna have to adjust things. Probably want like jumping tally, maybe multi-hit tally, and what was it, twin blade tally? Do I not have it? I think I don't have it. I just never used that thing. Well, all things considered, since I don't have it, I think I'm gonna scrap it and just use this here. There you go. We're gonna go with that instead. And we're gonna replace this one with Bragger, if you can put Bragger here. Alright, we're gonna try that. So we Physic, Bragger, and then Blood Boil. And then we should be doing a lot more damage. Bragger has good synergy with this because, or with this whole like idea, let's say, because you're sacrificing a lot of defense, and Bragger gives you more defense, so it mitigates a little bit of the issues. Like Bragger pairs well with Blood Boil because Bragger gives you defense and Blood Boil gives you physical extra damage, and obviously Bragger increases your physical damage. So they should be pairing well together. But again, a setup like that, it's better when you can heal. If you can't heal, I don't think the damage trade-off is worth it. If you can't heal, what you should be doing is going for whatever is most advantageous, like comparatively to what your opponent is going to do to you. So, like, doing 25% more damage to receive 25% is not worth it. What you should be doing is, like, just taking 10% less damage, period. Because technically you're looking at it as in like a positive versus a negative. Like you're getting like negative points when you're taking more damage than you're taking. So you should be just going for something that... Oh my god, the horse just died. Stacking those buff can revive PSGS for invasions. We should try PSGS. Although, to be fair, I think buffs are no buff. I think PSGS as it stands right now, like unless you're playing at like 150 plus where you can have like 80 strength, I think you need a dedicated PSGS build. Because the damage for PSGS just is not what it's used to be. And so I think if you're going for PSGS, like you need a PSGS that will nuke people. That's what I think. Like one way or another. We have those knights. Try to regress here. Where's his friend? Is he up there? Says there's 2 players. Oh, no, never mind, there's not. Alright, we're gonna try this in 1v1, even though it's not the play. Because I'm really curious about what type of damage am I gonna do against a tryhard. Not that great damage-wise against a tryhard. Like, we had a few sequence, but... I mean, the damage is not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's not, like... it's, like, not high enough. Castle wreaking havoc again. I'm wondering if we go the full PSGS route. Let's just have one of them here with Bragger. Do I have a like main hand Serpent Hunter maybe? Like if we go main hand Serpent Hunter, off and Bragger here, probably use this one, crouch attack tally, and then the multi-hits, I guess. Or maybe switch that one, maybe to counter attack. Yeah, we go main hand Shunter for tracking, also because I think it's worth it to use Shunter in this situation, because Blood Boil increases your physical damage and it won't increase your bundle damage, so technically, I mean, I have not checked, like, on paper if the math add up, but we should be doing more damage with pure physical buffs. So, like, basically Bragger should be better than bundles here, even aside from the defense, or like Shrek would be better, or you know, like having extra AR from Shunter should also be better, but I don't know for sure. We're gonna find out. We're gonna try that. I'm excited to see the damage we do. We have anchors though. Definitely not worth it. I think only one landed. He is light rolling though. Close, but we're just shy on range. I think he DC'd. No? Yeah, he did. What a scrub, dude. These people. I was about to fully rebuff to just test the full extent of my damage. I don't think it's actually worth it for this setup. Also, I think if you're invading, I think you want BHS for your PSGS if you're invading. You can try it again, just, you know, see the damage a little more, but... Getting a lot of lone hosts today. Let's see. not worth it at all, honestly. At all. Like, I think we do the same amount of damage with a dedicated PSG... Like a tree spear build would have done more damage without any of the crazy sacrifices we're making. Like tree spear would have done more here. All right, let's try another one. What about dedicated barb? Like we tried barb roar Pada. What about barb roar star fists? Technically, we want running attack tally. We want bull goat, multi-hit. I mean, I guess that's what it looks like. Unless I'm missing something. Oh no, I'm missing this one here. So this. Also, let's put BHS on this one. Okay. Let's try that. Here with Barbaric Roar Starfist, we should be doing a lot of damage. We have running attack tally, Millicent prosthesis, although I think Millicent is actually useless here. I think I'm better off with this one. Yeah, this is the right setup technically. Witnex, thanks for the resub for 54, dude. Thank you so much, man. Welcome back. 54 still going. Let's get it. Thanks, Witnex. I really appreciate that, man. Okay, there's 2 people in there. I mean, they're down here. I'm tempted to go balls to the walls, honestly. Like, I don't actually care. Let's just go down there type of deal, you know? They're coming up, gonna help us. Oh my god, our damage is insane. Oh my god, dude, the damage is nuts. We did 400 damage. We did 400 damage with a fucking one part of the running attack. That's just insane. What the fuck? Dude, let's just check out our AR real quick. So, I mean, technically, we do that. We just have to do that. And this here, and our AR is 661 for Starfist. But if you add the Frostbot on top of that, you add another 20%. And that number becomes quite dishonest. I mean, we know that Barbaric Roar has some really good synergy with something like that. Alright guys, I'm just gonna do that because I can't see shit, you guys can't see shit. We're gonna skip on the part where we sneak up on them. And just try to find them. I mean, the damage is crazy. The damage is crazy, man. I'm taking a liking to these like wacky ass damage oriented setups that don't really require like an insane amount of buffing. Also, it's not the worst fashion ever, you know? I can live with that. Don't sleep on aromatic. I think I was sleeping on Blood Boil aromatic. Slop build for slop game? Yeah, pretty much. Right, there's this guy again. Technically, I should be able to tank his Colossal here. There we go, right there. This guy's just stalling and out-healing. Can we take that? The damage is good even without the aromatic. Now imagine 80 strength, dude. You could you could absolutely like push this build like further. You could absolutely like push that and 80 strength the shit out of this thing, for sure. Dude, on 80 strength, that shit would be insane. Because 80 strength is like, it does, like, strength builds don't really benefit that much for 80 strength when it comes to, like, two-handed weapons, like, you know, like Clean Rot. Between, like, 54 and 80, the difference is not worth it for the amount of points you invest. Same thing with, two-handed Great Lance. But when it comes to these power stance setups, though, like, anything you one-hand, like, Starfist benefits massively from 80 strength. Like, massively. Like, this setup would probably do an absurd amount of damage at level 150, where everyone basically has, like, 80. There's two players here. And the DC right away. Okay. You hate how damage is balanced in Elden Ring compared to Dark Souls 3. Yeah, Omega, add that to the long list that I have. Like the damage is not like, it's not a matter of like there's too much damage in Elden Ring or is like there's not enough damage. It's that the damage is very buff dependent, and so that's just bad overall, like design wise, for many different reasons. And also the damage is not spread out properly, like, you know, like I've had fights recently where I was going against Green was using the Trusting Sword and I was using the Great Lance, and our damage was about even on a trade, like Great Lance crouch attack versus his Trusting Sword R1. And so when the fast weapon like the TS like trades damage with the lance, there's like the matchup starts to become completely skewed. And that's not like an issue with like, oh, well, I mean, TS does too much damage, but it's also an issue of like this would be the same thing against Shamshir, you know, this would be the same thing against like Handax, you know, this would be the same thing against like any like small medium weapon that you trade with. Like the damage is just not like spread out in a way that makes sense. Like in comparison, a counterexample to that would be in Dark Souls 3, it did not really matter what you traded against with a greatsword, for instance, because you had a 2-hit guaranteed through combo. If you won that trade with hyper armor, you were coming out on top by at least twice their damage, basically. Like you were guaranteeing that you were doing 2 times as much damage as your opponent if you had a favorable hyper armor trade. In this game, that's not the case. Thanks, Polished Goblin. I appreciate that. I think they should be below. Unless I'm crazy. Be around here. Yeah, there they are. We have this guy, this guy. This guy is on Endure right now. What's crazy is we tank the fucking Colossal. The damage is just completely absurd. Did you see that follows, dude? The damage is just completely nuts. Claymore PKCS was 650 versus 200. Yeah, 3 times an out trade. Yeah, and here in this game, like the equivalent to that would be, let's say we do like Knight Greatsword against Clean Rot. You're pretty much looking at the same amount of damage, like trading an R1 for both weapons. It's like gonna be like slightly favored by like maybe 30 damage or 50 damage toward the Greatsword, and that's about it. Like you said, like a 3-time damage difference is what made like some of these matchups like doable, even though you were at a massive disadvantage. Now, like now here in this game, like if you want to go like with some of these like lesser weapons, the problem is you're gonna get out damaged massively by these meta setups, even without like any like crazy setup on their end. Like just a normal like Trusting Sword build will pretty much even trade against like most hyper armor weapons, unless you're talking about like maybe like a, you know, like a 2-handed crusher, or like, you know, like a 2-handed like holy colossal great hammer, you know, that sort of stuff. Like sure, on that one you're gonna lose the trade, but you're not gonna lose the trade by like 2 times, like, or you're not gonna lose the trade by 3 times like you did in Dark Souls 3. You're only gonna lose by 2 times too. Like the TS is gonna do about half as much as you. I think that's also part because TS does counter hit damage. Try to hurry up, take our chance while they're fighting this thing. Maybe frost some of them. Guys frosted. Look at this shit. The damage is just completely out of this world. Like, even if this guy had low HP, like, the fact that I'm doing, like, over 1,000 damage just by like, you know, just with one trade is crazy. Well, I mean, I can say for sure that Barbaric Roar really pairs well with this sort of setup. I think Barbaric Roar is one of these winners. What else could we try here? Let me think. Unironically, I feel like Sight was also pretty good. Oh, it's already over though. That was already empty. How is Stone Club with this setup? Good question. Let's try Stone Club. Let's try the same idea, but with Stone Club. So we change the setup slightly. We go... That's it. Just that. Am I fat rolling? I have to just maybe swap that out. No? Too much still. That should do, right? Let's try that. Because also Stone Club is blunt damage, I think this sort of damage buff kind of benefits blunt damage. I don't know if they're this way or the other way, but they're under me. Yeah, they are. Wrong fucking side, dude. Wrong fucking side. Insane. And the maps in this game are frustrating. At least for PvP. I mean, they're clearly designed solely for PvE. You can see it there. He's lagging. I feel like we were doing more damage with the Star Fists, though. I'm gonna try Twin Blade after that. I think Twin Blade is gonna do insane damage too. Twin Blade also, I think, should pair decent in an invasion setting with Barbaric Roar as well. So we can try Twin Blade Barbaric Roar. I think we're gonna wait a little bit here for them to come closer. We don't want to fight all three of them in the open like this because of the mage. Well, they're not coming my way, so... Always focus on the mage, guys. Right, we take that. Reset our buff. That's ridiculous, dude. What the fuck? Because he was frosted? Dude, we did upward of 1600? That is just not okay. Bro, what the fuck? Oh my god. Alright. Let's try something similar again, but can I... No, I can't do that. Let's try this. And then... I'm gonna be forced to use that. Maybe this here. And our setup is simply beautiful. Little adjustments on the fly, guys. You know, we want to push the damage a little further. Same idea, but this time with Twin Blade. And we want to benefit from the extra damage that this gives us. Oops, this is the crouch tally though. Here you go, like that. So similar idea. Instead of the cool armor though, we're sacrificing our fashion completely to have the leather armor, which gives us extra running attack damage. And we need the ugly head to give us a little bit more dexterity also. Otherwise we don't reach the requirement for Twin Blade. What's the barbaric roar on this? Right, it's horrible, but we're still gonna use it. It's only one guy. There you go. And there's this buddy here. Let's go for him first. Unfortunately, this one's a mage, though. They're both mages. Oh. Can't force anything against two ranged spammers. Insane fucking player, dude. It's just insane player. Alright, let's just kill him. We didn't really get a chance to test what we wanted. Oh, you know what I would love to test, actually? I'd love to see what type of damage do we get with, like, Shard of Alexander, freaking, Piercing Fang on a setup like that. Piercing Fang with Shard of Alexander probably does, like, a lot. Maybe you could kill someone in 2 Piercing Fang. That would be cool. I don't know which weapon I'd use for it, though. Maybe just a greatsword, you know, keep it simple. Apparently I can't craft. And someone's dead already. Alright. Well. Is he gonna DC? I feel like he's gonna DC. Dragon. I'm gonna stick with this setup until we can actually, like, properly see the extent of our damage. Like, we can't manage to get, like, one clean running or 2 that hits both times. I wonder, oh, maybe Warp Axe could be interesting as well. Warp Axe already a candidate for insane damage. Why did the stam look so big in that invasion? It's the Blood Boil Aromatic. They increase your stamina. Palm Blast? Palm Blast could be interesting. Although Palm Blast is trading, we want to avoid trading as much as possible. Because we do take a lot of damage, but... That's perfect. We separate this guy. And then we nuke him. Oh. Give me a moment. think our buff ran out. I mean, seriously? It's not that much. But it definitely can kill someone quickly. Alright, let's try another one. I'm also tired of seeing this fucking outfit. It's too much. Alright. Now let's try... trying to think here, like... physical ashes that do insane damage. You know what? Let's just go Claymore Piercing Fang, you know, the classic. And then we put Shard of Alexander here, and maybe this here. And we just... let's see how much our Piercing Fang damage is. Maybe Shard of Alex, or maybe Spear Talisman could be good here, but I think because we have a Claymore, I think we want Bulgoat to be able to out-trade other great weapons. God damn it. Actually, let's go with Knight's Greatsword instead. I prefer the moveset for Knight's Greatsword. I mean, I say I prefer, it's just better, really. Wow, that follow-up was questionable. That's it. The DC! Insane. Oh, man. I mean, we did do about half his health with one Piercing Fang. Not that it's amazing or anything, but still interesting damage. Piercing Fang is not the type of ash that you land like twice in a row, though. It's the type of ash you land like once every once in a while. Did he drop? No, he didn't. At least not yet. Easy to be so high up. Oh, he went up all the way up top. They're going for the boss kill. There's two of them. And the boss is dead. Your one piercing fang should be enough to oh. That's a combo. I just want to land piercing fangs even though it's not the play. I'm just going for that. I was excited to land piercing fang here for, you know, the sole purpose of getting the opportunity to one-shot the guy that was frosted. Because he was naked, frosted, and with all our buffs, I think that's a one-shot piercing fang. Yo, what's up, Mozzarella? How you doing, man? Well, and we landed the hit, but the hand is dangerous. Whoa. Move out here. Wow, we missed that. It's kind of unfortunate. Guys, just running. Honestly, I was about to say, I think I'm just gonna swap the Pada just to finish him off. He was just running away. Put that back. Okay, I mean, Piercing Fang is interesting and all, but it's definitely not all that. Let's try something that could really benefit damage-wise. I mean, I said I would try the axe. Let's try the axe. Let's put Barbaric Roar on it. So Barbaric Roar, we want this. There's something I'm missing here. I think we can scrap this one. Maybe not. No, we can't. Okay, let's just keep it like that. Technically here, honestly, we could be doing... Nope, not even? Okay, never mind. Maybe this. Yeah. Curious as to, like... Classic. The DC again. Bro, the amount of DCs today. It's crazy. These guys are going to be complaining to Miyazaki after that. And the reason why they keep DCing is that they're stuck in the sewers. They can't progress. They keep dying. By the time they make progress, I end up re-invading them. And then we kill them, and then they start over. That's funny. I think we're gonna respawn on this one. Same shit spawn. Let's try again. Because here, even if I, even if I keep going, move up the ladder, I think the big door is going to be blocked ultimately, and I won't be able to get to them. Ondo TV, thanks for the raid. Welcome in, guys. Just doing some little damage experiment here. Okay, we are on the good side here. They should be, like, at the grace right there. Or not. Okay, never mind, they're actually further at the start of the area. Okay, it's 2 players. Let's see here. And he has Lance. I'm gonna be taking a lot of damage. Oh, wait, what? It should be giving me a different R2 here. Will that kill? It could kill. Yes, it does. Yeah, I just gave up. Personally, though, I think I'd rather have Sword Dance because the warp tax is just too one-dimensional, and the standing R2 is also not bad. Like, losing that R2 is a kind of a big deal. Like, against that Lance, for instance, you want to throw these R2s out because he can't tank it. So you lose a lot from the weapon by going the... what's it called? You know, going the Barbaric Roar route. I think you're better off with Sword Dance. So, with that being said, if we have this, should be better. Personally, for this axe, I prefer Sword Dance and Storm Stomp. Way more Storm Stomp than Sword Dance in that case, because this weapon lacks an Eye Armor option. What else should we try with this setup? Let's see here. Things that we have not tried. Oh, we have not tried Raptor Talon, interestingly enough. Raptor Talon could be interesting, I guess. Beast Claw or Bear Claw. Bear Claw could be interesting with this, actually. You know, Bear Claw is kind of tempting because Bear Claw has that massive damaging Ash. That Ash with Bear Claw could do some serious damage. After this one, we're gonna try Bear Claw with this. Personally, though, with Bear Claw, I kind of like Bear Claw better, like, one-handed than two-handed. I don't like Bear Claw power stance. I like it one-handed. Because Omega, the stamina consumption difference, like I can show it. Oh, actually, yeah, I can show it real quick. The stamina consumption difference is insane. It's just aggro one guy. Or, no. Okay, there you go. So, like, look at that stam consumption. It's basically nothing. And now look at it. So much more. Or as one-handed. It's like double the stam consumption, basically. So for chase down, when you're chasing down someone that's just running away, the power stance one is just gonna lose you. Yeah, also the Feint R2 does more poise damage one-handed. Yeah, that's true. I don't use it as much as I should, though. I feel like that's a like a skill issue. Like I never play using those R2s, but I should, basically. Yo, Brian, thank you so much for the donation, man. Still watch the old Dark Souls 3 stuff? Yeah, there's nothing like it on YouTube, to be fair. I'll agree that my Dark Souls 3 content is pretty much peak for Dark Souls 3. Doesn't get any better than that. For this game, at least. Alright. Let's see here. Oh, come on. He's just standing there. That's just sad. That's disappointing. What's the deal with Warp Axe? Why is it so good? It just does insane damage. It's one of these weapons that has like very high DPS. It's not, you know, it's not like the most amazing weapon, but it has some good matchups. And when you're invading, that burst damage definitely comes in handy for sure. Okay, now if we okay, so technically we should be doing running attack. Not necessarily Millicent Prosthesis, but this one. That's what we should be going for here. I'm actually really curious about our damage. And we can use that. Cool. There's two players. I see one of them. Wait, where is that? On the other bridge. We're gonna be coming at them from the other side. You know what? Let's bubble up just to be safe. We did massive damage, we took massive damage. We tanked that Moonveil like a champion, though. We just did not care. We just tanked that Moonveil. No fucks given. Thanks, No More. I appreciate that. Also, Baldwin, wish you a good recovery, dude. You know, whatever you're fighting. The backstab did less damage, yeah. Such well-designed hyper armor balance, yeah. Like, Bear Claw Ash of War is like the nuclear option. It just does so much fucking damage. And has so much hyper armor. Like, you just hyper armor everything. Like, hyper armoring the Moonveil attack was crazy. We did take plenty of damage, although. But, I mean, we dished out even more, so I guess it evens it out. It's like basically going all in when you're doing that. Yo, Goldmask, thanks for the gifted sub. Really appreciate that. Well, at least we know that this blood boil thing, it definitely works. I think I underused it. Even though you take so much more damage, it's just what you're able to dish out It's just well worth it. How's the activity? It's not great right now. Activity is kind of slow, but I'm not going to be streaming for much longer, I think. I'm going to be watching the hockey game that starts at 7. I was just curious to try like more of these weapons without necessarily like the crazy like, oh, we go for big damage, you know. Just simple like 1 or 2 buff with a setup that's catered toward doing great damage. Not good for duels, I will say, but you know, I still try it just for the sake of it. Against this guy, for instance, you don't want to trade with RKR here. You definitely don't want that. Whoa! That's it. Yeah. Him trading with my Ash basically means GG. But like, I didn't want to trade with his RKR on a counter hit, for instance. That could have killed me. $1,500? Yeah, I know, dude. It's the damage is the real deal. I don't hate the fashion either, though. Like the whole like Rakshasa mask. It's very edgy, but I don't hate it. There's 3 players. Could be around the corner here. There they are. Oh, they're sniping. All 3 of them. They're just waiting for me all bubbled up and everything. Unlucky though. All right, good invasion there. Without the PvE though, we're not able to do this. Like the only reason we win this is because we have PvE to separate the aggro. The problem with dueling is the damage trade with this setup. Yeah, basically like the reason why Blood Boil is good for invasions and not for duels is that you take 25% extra damage and you dish out 20% extra physical damage. So technically, the moment you're taking this, you're on the losing end. of the exchange. So it's not good for trading. But, and it's the same thing like Rakshasa, you know, it's a 2% trade-off that goes both ways, instead of like just purely getting more defense out of it. It's just that in the context of invasion, you can heal away your mistakes and you can heal away the damage you take, and technically the hardest part when you're fighting multiple players is to get a kill quickly. And so that extra damage, even though you take more, getting that extra damage is enough to secure a kill in a short amount of time, basically. And so in a duel, though, you're going to be fighting one person, and you have to assume, you know, if you're fighting someone that's similarly skilled as you, you're going to have to assume that you're going to be trading blows, or that's going to be like you hit them once, they hit you once. You know, similarly skilled fights, like that's what's going to happen. And if that's the case, well, you're going to be taking 25% damage, and they're going to be taking, you know, they're going to be taking less than 20%, because instead of using Blood Boil, they would have taken Crab. So they have 10% extra defense. That, you know, let's just, I don't think the mats in this game work like that, but let's just say that you don't do 20% extra damage like you should. You're going to be doing 10% because they eat a crab. So you take 25% extra damage, and you do 10% more damage. Not worth it. Whereas if you would have taken a crab instead of that, you know, both you and your opponent take 10% less. So, you know, like if you keep trading with your opponent, or you do a hit, they do a hit, well, it's going to break even. Whereas on the other end, with Blood Boil, they're going to be at an advantage. So you have to keep that in mind when you go into 1v1 exchanges with a setup like that. It's definitely not good for every situation. But again, you know, when you're fighting multiple people, you don't necessarily mind like losing a trade per se, if the other guy has less health than you, and then you just heal after that, basically. That's it? No? Whoa. He did not even heal, what the fuck? We'll hit there. You know what? I'm just gonna keep spamming. Nope. Don't hit there. Yo, what's up, Fuji? How you doing, man? Alright, guys, we're gonna do a last one for today, and then I'm gonna go watch the hockey game after that. Two people. Wonder if it's one of the guys who DC'd. Oh, it's the guys we... I mean, the damage is just nuts. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna call it a day. Pretty cool stuff, though. So, little takeaway for today is that this shit actually does work in invasions. Like, it doesn't matter which setup you're using. Just going for pure damage actually yields pretty damn good result. Like, today we tried, like, We tried the bear claw, we tried the scythe. Scythe surprisingly was doing an absurd amount of damage. Great katana also did an insane amount of damage. I think scythe, great katana are great for that. Hyper armor weapons, not too sure, but fucking what we need to do is, like, at some point we need to make an 80 strength Starfist build with this sort of stuff. Like, Starfist today did some unholy amount of damage. They probably were the strongest setup today. Like, if you guys want to try it out, it's basically it's just the usual, like, barbaric roar setup. It's the usual barbaric roar setup, but you have 2 pieces of Rakshasa. You know, all your talismans are geared toward doing more damage, except Bull Goat, because you want to tank colossal weapons. And you use Blood Boil. And you just do, like, so much damage. Like, your AR gets to 626, and if you manage to get a Frostspot on your enemies, they take even more damage. Like, we were doing earlier to one guy with, like, half a running attack. We did, like, 436 to one guy with half a running attack. Pretty crazy. Yo, Firekeeper, thank you so much for the 1 year, dude. 1 year YouTube membership. My only member. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate that. Thanks for the 1 year, dude. So, yeah, anyway, guys, setup's pretty cool. It works, you know, going for damage. Not good for 1v1, but for invasions, this setup's actually pretty goated for invasions, honestly. Like, I'm really digging it. Looks edgy on top of that. It's not bad fashion. Alright, guys. Thanks, everyone, again for coming by. Really appreciate it. And, again, we're gonna raid someone. I'll catch you guys up next time. Take it easy, everyone. I actually have another member? Do I? I feel like, it's not a lot, but I don't provide any benefit for the YouTube members. I probably should, but to be honest, I'm kind of waiting for, like, the next big Souls game to, like, commit to, like, making new, like, emotes for Twitch and YouTube, and, you know, having, like, benefits to the channel and that sort of stuff. In the meantime, it's just, like, status quo, basically. Anyway, guys, really appreciate that you guys are still sticking around. You know, good stream today. Let's just raid Uncle Fuji and call it a day for me. I'm gonna go watch the hockey game. Alright, guys, take it easy.